Hello, my name is Jocelyn Alonso, and today I will be going over the Greenhouse Gases Report project. As we know, this report mainly focuses on climate change, which is known to be one of the worldwide largest problems that is currently happening right now. This is very different from weather, since weather is a short-term atmospheric condition, while climate change, on the other hand, affects in the long run, and not only in some parts of the world, but if not in all of them. It's proven that our daily activities are considered the main cause of this problem, which is found on the next part of the report on the greenhouse gases footprint. And there's where we are able to see how much we affect. And I will be speaking about it more in the following slides. So for this project, the materials are really short and simple. As long as you have a computer or a phone with access to the internet, it will work fine. And most importantly, it focuses on using websites. And I also incorporated a tree since I did use that for the experimental part. I actually think that websites are really helpful and they're very useful since they are more easy to access and anyone can be able to simply just share it with other people and they get access to it and they get to learn the same as others, and it's just an easier way to pass on information, important information such as climate change, for instance. And here are some of the procedures that I used in order to complete my carbon footprint. So I just simply clicked on the link and follow all the instructions. For example, it asks how many people live in this household and the main source of energy. It also talked about the transportation that you use, how many cars, and the average miles per year, and the mileage also. And it also talked about the waste. So, like, what is your household mostly like use mostly recycled or stuff like that. And I also like that it provides ways for you to save money per year. And also as you go along, you get to see like the total pounds for your household, and then it also compares you to the average person in your zip code, which is also very interesting. And after I completed all of the steps, it did show me my results, and I'm surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised that the home energy was the most that produced the most carbon, but I was surprised that it was lower from the people in my zip code. Using charts like these just provide a more exact and a more real estimate of the problems that are currently going around. For example, in the first part that mainly focuses on the city of Dallas from those specific years, and we also see one with the sea level from many years ago, which also shows how climate change keeps on growing every year. And it's actually quite interesting if you start to get more into like many more other different charts that are provided by on different websites, which is why it is important to keep track of those things. These graphs, I believe they're also very important since they give more detail about more specific things. For example, on the first one, we get to see the specific year and the state, which was Texas, and the city Dallas, and we get to see how much, like the average temperature, which is actually, as we know, very, very high, and it keeps getting hotter every year. And also, like, we also have another chart for sea level, and it's very, very interesting that it shows the years, and I think that it is very helpful for people to be able to understand more how it actually is growing and throughout the years. In conclusion, I summarized it into the importance of the project, the changes we can make, and spreading awareness. I personally do think that this project was very informative. I always knew what climate change was, but I never really took it into consideration or thought that it was a serious issue until I realized that it's actually happening right now and that it's worldwide. I found the footprint calculator very fun and interesting to do, since those things you never really take into consideration on the daily day basis that you go by doing those daily things, and how much carbon is put into our household. Um, Although my average was lower, just imagine how many other families do the same or even more every day. Also, I think that this project is very good to getting us engaged into real world situations. Sometimes we get caught up on our own things and don't realize like the harm that we are doing to our planet and like things like that. So like activities like this, like the experimental part, was really fun, and those are some of the changes that we can start making now. If we decide, like, if we don't put very importance into it and we let the years go by, it could actually be very bad for our health and the future generations, since carbon does stay in the atmosphere for a very long time, and it could also increase or decrease like the amount of carbon dioxide going into our body, which causes health problems. Also, if we don't make any changes as soon as possible, more fires, hot waves, floods would happen. And I also think that people could go into poverty more than you think so. Um, Spreading awareness is very important, especially for situations like this, since I know that there are people who really don't believe in it. Also, scientists have proven that it is true. Um, you could start by telling your friends, family, just people around you. Reduce water waste, grow your own food if possible, research places that offer like clubs or organizations that benefit this type of activities, and make sure you keep up with websites like these, pass them on to friends, and just be careful like on what you do, recycle the more you can, and that's it.